The router's version 717 has just come out and is a special number. According to the internet, it could be a sign from above. If you keep seeing 717 in your life, it means that you're on the right path to enlightenment. And according to me, if you're not seeing this number, it means that you need to update your router. But before you do, let me enlighten you with the most interesting things from the changelog. First of all, users are now allowed to edit the interface MAC addresses directly from the GUI. Previously, this was reserved for the CLI, but now you can use Winbox or the web interface. In fact, our good old webfig has undergone some grandiose changes. It finally has a new modern look. Most of the functionality is the same as before, but there is one major improvement. You can now simply search for things like on Winbox. Just type in what you're looking for and click on it. I have opened the SSH settings because there is a new field called ciphers. A quick security refresher. We have had this strong crypto setting for a long time. It forces longer encryption keys, hardens the key exchange, and prevents the use of weak hashing algorithms. You should keep it turned on. Now, the new ciphers field can be left on auto, but the purpose is to determine what exact encryption algorithms are allowed. For example, if tomorrow you realize that TSS is not a secure algorithm, then you disable it immediately by specifying the ones that you do want to use. In the GUI, you have to add them one by one. Moving on, some major security improvements have been made to the device mode. As you know, it is used to enable and disable powerful yet dangerous features. But to make any changes, you need physical access to press the reset button. Starting 717, the device mode will have 3 security presets instead of 2, and over time you might notice that newly manufactured devices have a more strict preset applied out of the box. But more importantly, device mode can now determine what versions are allowed to be installed. This effectively prevents software downgrade attacks. Even if a hacker logged onto your router remotely, they would have no way to install an older, less secure version. More notable changes in this update. When setting up VLAN, you can now use interface lists for ease of configuration. For example, when specifying tagged ports, you no longer have to add them one by one. You could just add a pre-configured list. The router's console has several small changes. There's a new range command that can loop through integers. The print command now has a new parameter group by. It can be used when you need to count or filter out things. For example, interface print show IDs group by running returns lists of IDs that are grouped by the interface running status. The console serialize command has a new option for JSON no string conversion. The SSH exec command now accepts password property, so you no longer have to set up passwordless login to use it. Besides console, there are a couple more things worthy of mention. When importing containers instead of just the tar format, you can now use tar.gz. Neighbor Discovery can now support the DCBX protocol, which is a data center-focused extension of the LLDP protocol. In the disk section, you can now add SSHFS client as a disk, and now you can also add file-based block devices as disks, so you could create and mount ISO files straight from within RouterOS, for example. When mounting NFS, it will now attempt to mount older versions if it fails with version 4. Finally, there is a small change to the Mac server. It has been there for ages, and it's what's providing the Mac Telnet functionality, among a couple other things. It is hidden in the Tools section, and it has one configurable property, allowed interface list. That determines which interfaces can be used to connect. But there was this one annoying issue where if you saved a bridge as an interface list member and then used the list to configure the Mac server, you would create this silly situation where you could only use the bridge MAC to connect, and the other slave port MAC addresses would fail if you tried them. Now, the mechanics of how this works have finally been changed, so if you add a bridge to the allowed list, all of the bridge port MAC addresses are considered valid as you would expect. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't set you to sleep with this changelog video, unless you are trying to fall asleep. In that case, I'm sorry, I'll try to be more boring next time.